And welcome everybody. My name is Tjerk Feitsma from the Neurodiversity Foundation, and we have a very special guest and friend of us in the studio, and it's Josh Mirsky. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. This is the first interview I think I've ever done internationally. For folks listening in, I'm in Long Island, New York. I believe you're from where, Netherlands? So,
Our
um,
main office is based here in the Netherlands, but well, we've grown quite a bit. And
yeah, this is exciting, like international. I mean, wow.
and we've heard many great stories about you, and particularly about the ND Strength Flag. And today we're going to have a couple of questions for you, but also for
Yes.
you the ability to talk as you please. The questions are mainly there to help you guide on the way. But of course, we've seen the ND Strength Flag also flying on Neurodiversity Pride Day, which made us particularly happy. But let's start from the beginning. How did this whole flag making process, how did it start? Where was it rooted on? How did it start to happen? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So it started, the premise came from my thinking back during lockdown. So I'm in New York, and we had our former governor, Governor Cuomo, did something what I called the chicken wing rule. It's not officially called that, but I called it the chicken winger. And basically, he said during lockdown, bars can stay open and you can attend a bar, but you can't just order chicken wings. You have to order like a beverage and a meal, so whatever. Now, the issue I took with this is, what about all the autistic people who go to certain places just for chicken wings, and that throws their whole schedule off, right? Now, maybe come up with the idea for neurodiversity advisors and stuff, which I'll come on to later on, but it showed me that reality, there's nobody in government who truly has our back, who truly cares. And that really pissed me off, to be quite frank. Um, so then about maybe a year later or so, I in New York, there's always during June, there's always pride flags everywhere. Um, Pride is for the pride community, the and I always thought, well, this is amazing. This really is amazing. And I know lots of people in that community. I understand what a flag means for folks, but where is the one for neurodiverse people? And I kept telling people, I was like, why don't we have a flag? And people were like, oh, Josh, it's one of those things. But it's not just one of those things. Why don't we? Because I think that because the pride flag didn't just happen. It took lots of willpower to get that to happen. A lot of willpower. Why don't we have it? I thought that was, we should have it, quite frankly. So one time, I started sharing these ideas, and I decided that we should do it. So I worked in a design shop, print and embroidery, and I spoke to folks, and I started reaching out to local politicians, and I found out that there was something called the Autism Advisory Board in New York State. So step one, basically to get myself on that board. So I after, how do you say this politely? Constantly reminding and constantly asking folks. I'll put it like that because I want to be careful with the words I select here. In government, I got on the New York State Autism Spectrum Disorders Advisory Board. That's step one. But the thought of the flag was still in my head. So now, using the new contacts I had, I started reaching out, and one former senator suggested, like, he's like, well, show me. He says something, it was years ago. He said something like, show me the design or something. At that time, I didn't have one, so I immediately after that, because I was on the phone at my job at the time with the senator, hung up after work. I drove all the way to this art supply store, and I walked in. I all enthused, and the guy's like, "All right, so what do you need?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm designing a flag that's gonna be recognized by the entire state of New York." And he's like, "Oh, okay, yes, so what you need?" No, didn't really care. So I said, "Where are the oil pastels?" So I then went home and I made a design. This over here. I'm not sure if your viewers are gonna be seeing this or not, but this
Yes,
is
we can.
oil pastel. I used straight edges to make this diamond. And this was my first attempt, my first design, and I thought it's great. And I thought that it was good for symbolism also because there's gold, diamond, red, there's stuff like that. Three is very easy for the brain to remember. Stuff like that. If you were to fold it like this, it's all equal. There's lots of stuff with that design which is there for for masses to remember. So then someone told me that it looks too much like a sailing flag or something like that. So at that point, I put 2 red bars at the end, and we came up, and the flag design was made. This is the Neurodiversity Strength Flag. But pretty much it came from the fact that I was inspired. I still am by the Pride flag. I'm inspired by the movement of that flag. But with the Neurodiversity Strength Flag, I want this to gain traction faster than that. I agree. Think that now we are in a place in society where we're no longer the 70s and 80s. We're more tolerant and inclusive. So I really think this movement can grow faster. I'm trying to get what it took them 20, 30 years plus for that flag and that movement to grow. I'm trying to get it done within 4 to 5 years. And give myself that. And I really think we are going to hit it. So far, we're hitting that time frame. And I know you're gonna be asking me more questions. I'll go into some more details later on. But yeah, there's now also a neurodiversity caucus, which we would meet and screen political candidates and endorse them based on the fact if they're going to be prioritizing neurodiversity needs in both state and federal. And this caucus will also pull endorsement if they do not do that. So it's not like just a check mark for them. They actually need to perform properly in order to keep said endorsement. And yeah, we're gaining traction. So yeah.
I love that idea of the caucus as well. Out here, we have the Neuro-Inclusive Politician Award, where some politicians are selected and then followed by the neurodivergent community for not just words, but also their actions and their political decisions in parliament.
That's great.
Yes, to show that there are, many good politicians too who have, like this inclusive heart for everybody. And it just takes a little bit of extra focus and really looking at, who are advancing the fastest. Let's get back to the flag because I'm still super curious about that. I've seen the first design now and the second iteration, and a couple of shapes and colors come back to it. So I saw the red color, the gold color, the white color, and the infinity symbol shape, and the
Well,
diamond.
the white is only there because that was the color of the paper, to be honest. That's why the white layer, if the color of the paper was green, it would have been green. Just I was drawing it on a white piece of paper, so that's why the diamond's white.
Can you tell us a little bit about the meaning behind these colors and the shapes?
Yes, absolutely. So red is a power color. When you see red, you think like it's more, it's in your face, it's a dominant color, it's strength, power. And the neurodiverse people have gone through immense troubles and overcome much hardships. They are extremely strong people. They've gone through things which not everyone can go through, and they do it on a regular. And that takes immense strength. And I think that should be displayed in a flag, and proudly so. Gold is first place. I think the neurodiverse people should be unapologetic about this. That we're used to getting like the crumbs of the pie, so to speak. We're not used to coming first or demanding first place. We're like we feel lucky, blessed if we're even considered for third. I think that's a load of garbage. I think that we should be going first, and we should demand to be seen as equal first. I think that unfortunately we have been conditioned by society, directly or indirectly, sometimes both, to not see ourselves as first. And I think that should be changed, and that is my hope through this. The diamond is value because society always values diamonds immensely. And I think that the neurodiverse people should be seen with immense value as well. And also we should value ourselves too. Because one thing which is important is you need to love yourself. You can't hate yourself. And I understand, and I've done this too in the past. I'm not ashamed to say, I'm being real here, that sometimes society kicks you in the teeth and you start to hate yourself after a while. And I think that's important, that you love yourself. And you understand that, yeah, society's gonna make you feel like garbage, but if you love yourself, you overcome that. And I truly believe that. I really do. And it's in my life, I have loved myself, and I see where that has gotten me. So, and the infinity symbol really, I mean, I could say that it's for infinite possibilities and it'll sound great. However, the real reason the infinity symbol is there is because I kept seeing on comment sections, in particular with Autism Month, they said, do not light it up blue, do not show a puzzle piece, use the infinity symbol and light up red or gold. So that's another reason why red and gold is there. Because I took input from comment sections, which I saw throughout social media forums. And I saw this for years. People always saying them. And then what does society do? We light it up blue. We light it up blue, puzzle piece. And I want people to know that their voices are heard. I want people to see that their input actually has a direct impact on the outcome. So that's also why those colors are there, and that's why that shape is there.
Yes, and for everybody watching from home, please don't light it up blue. It's not something autistic people really appreciate. Thank you.
Yeah.
When people see this flag, like, what should it remind them of? Like, what feeling should it give them when they see this flag flying high?
Well, we are trying to usher in the golden age of neurodiversity. They should feel that they are part of a movement greater than oneself, a movement that's spreading as you works to yourself also throughout not just one country but many. A movement that is not all about the pity, like, oh, we feel bad for ourselves. No, it's about we are strong people. We're united. There are millions of millions of us throughout the world. And although, yeah, we may feel alone, we may feel isolated, we are not. And this flag is a visual representation of that, and that we intend to change society for the better. It's a symbol of strength and a rallying cry. It's not something that is like, oh, that's cute. That is not what this is. This is a rallying cry that we are ushering the golden age of neurodiversity unapologetically, and it's coming. And folks can either hop on the train or get run over. Those are the two options. And I suggest folks hop on the train because there's no stopping it.
I love that. And where has this flag been flown already? And I've also heard that in New York, it actually is officiated now, after all official
There's
sanitary
a
channels.
couple of documents about that. Right now, I have 3 documents currently being framed, so they're not here. But we have this one for Autism Acceptance Month by this governor of New York over here. I have this letter from the President of the United States, and yes, it actually came from him. It mentions the New York State Autism Advisory Board. So, and then there are all these other government documents. So it's interesting. It's on government documents. It's like they say this is the neurodiversity flag. However, due to state, like the way the state, I think, constitutions and stuff, they can't officially say this is state recognized fully because they haven't done that with the pride flag yet, or PWW. Officially, the direct recognition, the state only recognizes the United States and the New York State flag. But in every other aspect, yes, the state does recognize it, but doesn't say that it is an official state, but it does recognize, if that makes sense.
No, can you explain us a little bit more for us non-Americans?
Okay, so like the state in an official capacity cannot say this is the official New York flag because they already have official state flag and they recognize that as official, and also the United States flag. So, but in like, can the state like recognize in terms of like, yes, we do acknowledge this is the flag for neurodiversity in that aspect? Yes, they have done that many times, and that is it. But just it's not the official state. That's what I'm trying to get at. I think that came out more better that time.
Hey, and there are many states around the United States. What can friends in other states do to help this flag being adopted locally in their own area too?
Start flying it in their state and start lobbying. Anyone can lobby. I don't come from a family that's connected politically at all. I did all this on my own. A majority of it, honestly, through Instagram. I gave myself contacts through Instagram. If you really want to be part of this, you're gonna have to to spread this to your state. You're gonna have to work, but I'll help you if you're watching this. I'll provide you flags and stuff. Like right now, the state of New York is forking over $9,000 into flag production. In a few, and of course, since the state, it's going to take a while, but this money's already been allocated, and all the officials in the state government are going to be getting neurodiversity strength flags. They're going to be getting pins. They're going to be getting posters. There's going to be stuff for like events, like tabletops, things. So all that's going to be on the state dime, but I guess it'll take a while. Now, me, I privately funded some flag production. The ones which I am privately funding, some of them are already scheduled to go to like a congressman's office, which he already flew one, but now this congressman wants some for his desk in his DC office, which is for our folks listening in Washington, DC, is the capital of the United States government, and also for his local office in New York. So that's beyond massive. We are all local state senators and state assemblymen are going to be getting flags, as well as like mayors and such like that. But if you're listening to this, and if you are in any of the other 49 states in the union, please feel free to DM me and we'll work something out.
And we will add the link to your LinkedIn profile in the description or with the post that comes with this message too, so everybody can easily contact you and collaborate on making more steps.
Yes, no, that'll be terrific.
Is there other things you would like to share about this flag, or how it came to be that we did ask for you?
Yes. So this is the part where the story gets a little like, so it takes if you're gonna do something on this scale, and I get what I'm saying. First of all, I want to say that I highly advise you do not do what I did, because it is absolutely terrible for your mental health. I did this because I knew I had to in order to do it. So again, lots of this stuff, do not do what I did. So pretty much, if you want something bad enough, you need to sacrifice stuff. I sacrificed many things. When I was, first of all, like the mediocre stuff, I was so obsessed with it. When I went on dates, I would just, whenever I stopped by a flagpole, I'd stop the date. I'd say, hey, you see that flagpole over there? And I go into this whole dialogue about how my flag's gonna be there. Right? Still things like that. Then I would set up meetings, and whenever I set up a meeting, I would under no circumstance ever cancel the meeting. My philosophy was I have to be in a coma or dead not to show up at the meeting, one of the two. And this came to be fruition where my dad, thank God he survived. I want to put that out there first. Thank God my father is still with me. All my families. But my dad got COVID really bad. Really bad. Like he was dying basically. And he's telling me, first of all, I love my family tremendously. He was telling me, Josh, I love you. I wish I had more time with you, your mother. Right. As soon as that phone call ended, I looked at my watch. I set up for a Zoom meeting with the government people. And right there by the flag. Because I wasn't dead. I wasn't in a coma. So there was no excuse to miss a meeting about the flag. None. Absolutely none. Again, now, is that normal? No, that is not normal. Like a normal, but again, when you're trying to start a movement, there can be nothing that stands in your way. I was get depressed. I'd be fighting off depression, then get depressed, and then stress-related depression because of this. To the point where I totally ignored my oral hygiene. Long story short, I have 8 fake teeth. 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. These are fake. I lost them basically. I had to get them removed because the stress and depression. But what did I do? I kept on going. There's still no excuse. I kept the meetings. If I got a call at 11, 12, if I got an email at 1 a.m., literally, I woke myself up once I heard the phone buzz to answer the email, 1 a.m. There's no excuse. And I would do this for years on end, literally, like nonstop. It didn't matter. I'd skip holidays if I had to work. I'd cancel dates to do this stuff. When I remember when I went to Disney with my family, I'd be emailing online on like the lines, the rides. There is never not a time when I was devoting myself to this. And again, there will be times also, and what I'm about to say, I want to emphasize: do not do. I got the results, but do not do this. I'm almost hesitant to even say this because I don't want to accidentally inspire someone to do this because it is so bad for your mental health. Just understand that um yeah, I'll say it. So just understand that I had to do this in order to boost me up to this. So there's one time where, sometimes you're talking to a partner, and I was talking to a girl, and it didn't work out. I really liked this girl, I remember. And that was tough. And I saw a picture of her online kissing a dude. But I knew that the way I work is I convert energy, like really negative energy, into focus energy. So I knew if I were to stare at that, it would enrage me and hurt me enough. I'll have enough energy built up where I would then be able to convert it into so the way I work is I convert negative emotion into focused emotion where if I'm really upset, really hurt, like if someone really hurts me, I can convert that into fuel, which I then put towards my work towards a flag. And it pretty much just like kind of like nuclear radiation with Godzilla, supercharges them, right? So I knew if I want to be reproductive, I need to look at this picture of this girl who I really liked making out with this guy. And so I did that. And it ripped into me. It hurt me like really bad. Eventually, when I felt enough pain, and again, please do not do this. If you're listening, this is not healthy. I'm saying that. But eventually hurt me so much, I turned off the picture. Bam! I got like so much done for the flag. Emails, reaching out to people, negotiating, all that stuff. So much. I worked like the entire night and into the morning. I don't think I ever worked like that intensely for a much of a period of time without any breaks before or since. So now for this, it was great to do. However, I did all this when I was in like my mid to late 20s, I believe. If I were to start over, right now I'm 31, the amount of pressure and stress they put on me, realistically, I don't think I'd make it to 35. That is how much it put on. So again, I really do not do what I did. Please do not try to do what I did. I understood that I was in my physical prime. Because you're in your physical prime in your 20s. And I say this all the time to people who listen, that if you're in your 20s and if you have a vision or a goal, that is the time to go for it intensely because your body can handle it. You can handle the mental and physical like abuse, whatever you got to do, take it. But when you start getting in your 30s, you will not be able to. So if you have that dream and if you are going to go for full intensity, go for it in your 20s. That's when you do it. But those are the parts where...
And if you're older, be kind to yourself in the process
Yes,
a little bit
absolutely.
more.
Yes, please. If you're older, like seriously, I'm not trying to be funny. Please be kind to yourself. Please, like it's it's seriously like the amount of stress and so much I put on myself. Again, I'm missing 8 teeth. I would never get those teeth back, folks. That's it. They're gone. I still get sometimes issues in my oral hygiene because of that. Still pops up every now and then. But again, I did because I knew I had to, and I have this vision. I still do have this vision, this drive, and because I know I've seen the world before the flag, and I want to make sure that if I ever have children, that they inherit a world better than the one I inherited. And I think it's safe to say that we all want to live in a world better than the one that we inherited, better than the one today. And in order for that to happen, it takes people who are willing to make insane sacrifices to make the world insanely better. There is nothing massive gained without a massive sacrifice.
I completely agree with that. And I also have a question, like a world that is flying this flag in great numbers, much more than today even. What would that look like? How would that be different from a world without the flag and the idea behind it?
Well, I think it is very easy to use an example with the pride flag again. Let's look back before the pride flag was huge. Let's look back around the time of the Stonewall incident. Um, people, again, I'm just going to use the United States as example since I'm from there. And so that's what I know. Um, people back, like probably like, first of all, when I was growing up, people in school would call each other gay. And that would be an insult back then because I'm a millennial. So back then, going about 15, 20 years, if someone didn't like you, if someone didn't like what you did, if someone insulted you, they'd say I'm not going to use expletive, but they say expletive gay. What that would be is a massive insult back then. They don't do that now. Why? Well, let's look at what changed. Since then, the pride flag has become so prominent in society. You see it everywhere. And it is a visual symbol of the progress of the society and the state of the nation, of the inclusivity of it. And as that flag got bigger, and like bigger, I mean more prominent in society, that term be used as an insult stopped. It's no longer used that anymore. You no longer hear people say, "Oh, you expletive gay." People don't do that anymore. And if you look at it, it's a direct correlation. It is. Now let's look back before my time, before the pride flag and everything. People treated gay people like second-class citizens. People would think that gay people would give you AIDS just by looking at them. My uncle, I never got to meet him. He passed away of AIDS. He was gay, but that's the world which he one of my uncles grew up in. Unfortunately, I wish I could have met him, but and then the pride flag started. And then it started to grow. And it started to grow because there were people who were absolutely obsessed, insanely, like almost sickly obsessed with this notion that a flag could mean much more to people and that it could mean like a visual representation of growth. And that is what the Neurodiversity Strength Flag is for our people. And that is what I intend for it to be worldwide and soon, also with your help, for the worldwide part. And all the people listening to this, just by listening to this right now, you are helping. You are listening to knowledge, and then you will share this with one or two people, and then they will share it with one or two people. And if you want, you can also link my personal Instagram and the flag's Instagram because that's how I communicate. I communicate through posts on Instagram about the flag in real time. I'm not that active on X, but yeah, by just listening, you are helping. But again, everything. So to answer your questions, come around back to that. Just like with the Pride movement, as the world shows the Pride flag all over, again, look back to 15, 20 years. That's no longer an insult. Nowadays, people say, and I see it online, they use the word autistic as an insult sometimes. It's like, oh, that's so autistic of him. Now, imagine as this thing grows, that's going to be my litmus test. I want to see how quickly that all stops from the internet as this thing grows. And if there's anything I've learned from the data I collect on the Pride flag, it's going to, as this thing grows, that's going to stop.
And is this flag for autistic specifically, or is it for all neurodivergent kind?
This is all neurodivergence. I want everyone to understand that, like epilepsy, ADHD, you name it, this is all for you. People always make fun of even ADHD. There were jokes like how many people with ADHD just take to light bulb, all that stuff. This is for all neurodivergence. We are all on the same boat. We are. And the strength of a movement comes when everyone realizes they're on the same boat. And then they realize that this boat is a success when we're all on it. There are two boats. I'll tell a story. This is based in fact. Now there are two ships, great ships, the RMS Olympic and the RMS Titanic. Basically, they looked identical. One went on to have an illustrious career, beautiful. It got ran by another boat, but guess what? It survived. They fixed it, patched it up, and it served well on for decades. Another one sunk, broke in half on its first voyage. what was the difference? Do you know what the difference was?
Well, I would make a casually funny joke and say the weather, perhaps, but you mean something
Yeah.
else. What would it be?
Yes, yes. Even though both got holes in them, one it allowed the water to rush in more than the other. The water is negativity. We are all on the same boat, the neurodiversity boat. Now the Olympic stopped the water from going in, the negativity, and the boat didn't sink. It went on, and it was one of the most successful ships in history, the RMS Olympic. So I'll look it up. The RMS Titanic, water just poured in, and they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it. The depression, the negative thoughts, the self-doubt, everything. And what happened? The damn thing broke in half, and right now sitting on the bottom of the Atlantic. Now, we have a choice, and because I do not believe the neurodivergent people are victims. I don't. I refuse to believe that. I believe we have a harder time, but we are not victims. We could be one of two ships. We can allow oh poor woe is me mentality and allow ourselves to sink like the Titanic. Or we can stop the water coming in like the Olympic and we can take charge of our destiny. I think that the ship we are all on is now the Olympic and not the Titanic, and I strongly believe that. And seriously, look them up. They were both built side by side. There's photos of both of them. They look like clones getting built. I truly believe we are all on the Olympic. And this flag is the flag of our ship.
This flag is the flag of the Olympic. I love that. So,
Yes.
what could be suitable days to fly this flag?
Well, what I'm trying to do, usually people are flying, it's usually April because April is Autism Month, but I want it to be Neurodiversity Month. I would love that because, but right now in the United States, it's considered Autism Month. So April and also Neurodiversity Day. That's huge. I mean, I think United States, I think it should be flown April. I don't, but again, I don't know about internationally what April is. I don't. I'm ignorant in that matter. So I think internationally, I would love it to be April also, but also definitely Neurodiversity Day. And if you want, would you like a flag? I could have one shipped to you. If you send me your information off screen, I could have one shipped to you. But you could maybe discuss after this. But if you want a flag, let me know. I'll ship one to you.
That's an extremely generous offer of you, Josh Mirsky. Thank you so much for all your hard work and this enormous effort in getting this flag to where it needs to be. From your personal sacrifice with this vision of, flowing the negativity away. So being able to keep strong as a neurodivergent ship, so to say. We appreciate your work and we hope for this to get international. Thank you for joining and sharing your story today.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.